Hi friends. I just got to see Barbie and I want to give you my thoughts and reflections. I'm sure I will have more of them. The Barbie fit. Although I decided today I am probably closer to cosmic punk Barbie. I'm also here with my favorite accessory to my Barbie world, my cat. They're a beautiful intersex baby. And all they do is play. Okay, so my reflections. First I was thinking that, I like in the end that America Rivera's character was like, yeah, we need ordinary Barbie. And what that reminded me of is that ordinary is extraordinary. And our belief that we have to do something in the world, we have to make something, we have to launch something, we have to be known, be important, be famous, be something, means that everyone who doesn't either have those dreams or embody something that others might perceive as interesting, important, useful, begins to question, is it important that I even exist, right? And when we start to believe that, fix my titties here, when we start to question if our existence is meaningful and that we somehow need to have a very specific kind of existence that is of import and is doing good in the world, and only then are we meaningful and valuable, we begin to erase the existence of so many. And I had this, it made me think about this experience. I had this conversation with my friend Molly, hashtag shout out to Molly the Queen. When I was really sick this year, there was moments this year where with my long haul COVID and gastrointestinal things where I couldn't keep food down for weeks. I couldn't be a human, and which meant I had no energy, which meant I had no ability to just function in the world. And yet I was still going to work. I was still trying to be a competent human being in all the ways that we're supposed to be. And I had this conversation with Molly. I was like, who had some serious health issues, and I was like, how do you manage the belief that you must do something of import when you can't do anything, when you are struggling just to function? And she reminded me that sicknesses bring us to this place of self-acceptance, that just being is good, just existing is good, just playing, just experiencing the joy of humanness is good. And that although we want to give ourselves meaning, we want to believe that the universe has this divine plan for us and that everything is interconnected, and it is, but also at the end of the day, sometimes shit just happens and we have no idea why, and that there's just this kind of randomness to the cosmic universe as well that we can't explain and we can't reason. It's been a really challenging year for me, and I keep thinking about the whys. I keep going back to why are the things that are happening in my world, and yet I still have so much privilege and joy and beauty and access and good that it doesn't even really matter, right? The fact that bad things happen and things were hard doesn't mean that I don't still have a really fucking beautiful and amazing life and have an opportunity to do and make really beautiful and amazing things. So my reframe is not that we need to be important or do something meaningful, but that we need to be present in our experience, be kind to those around us, notice beauty and play and joy, and chase the good when we can. At one point in my darkest days this last year, I made a new Instagram that was just reasons to keep trying. Doesn't have very much on it. Don't worry about following it. But it's this conversation, right? Of what are our reasons that we keep trying, that we keep going every day? What are the reasons that we imagine it's worthwhile? Right? What are the things that help us to wake up the next day not feeling like shit? Right? I think that's what working with people who are depressed and are really mentally ill, and being someone who's mentally ill at times, and having family that has mental illness, there's constantly this reflection, right, of it's really fucking hard to wake up every day when you're feeling really mentally ill. It's hard to function. It's hard to want to be a person, and it's easy to be it's not easy. It feels better to be why the fuck am I here? I don't want to be here, right? And we all have those thoughts, we have those reflections, we have those feelings. One of the hard things I did this year was I was working as the clinical director of an adolescent residential center. So basically kids that had just tried to commit suicide would come to this house in a bougie kind of rural area in California. And I was responsible for keeping these, 18 kids alive and safe. And that's a fucking bullshit job. And we should not be in those positions as humans, that we ever feel responsibility for others' safety and well-being. We should not be in a position where we feel responsible for others' safety and well-being. And that our mental health system is such that it just causes a lot more harm than good. And I'll talk about in another video why I refused to go back. It was kind of my last straw, I should maybe try this again. And after many years of being I'll never work in child welfare again. But it's capitalism, and so it was the highest paying job I could get in therapy. And so I was I need the money, I need to figure out how to live. I want to move to California because I wanted to get the fuck out of Idaho. So sure, let's do this thing. Such a toxic and really harmful organization and job and situation. But one of the things it reminded me of was I was talking to kids every day who were really suicidal and who just didn't want to fucking exist. And I can't tell you how many of these and I'm sure teens watching this can validate this, teenagers, 12 to 17, contemplating the very existence of the universe and contemplating their own role in it and modeling their beliefs around what they're supposed to be, who they're supposed to be, how they're supposed to be, around things that weren't fucking real. And I kept having the experience of being I need to just tell you. That's my statement to the teenagers. Because some of them thought I was cool. I wasn't cool to most of them, but a few of them did. I'd be let me just tell you, it gets so much fucking better. It gets better. You don't give a shit about what your friends in school think. You don't care about your parents not accepting you. It gets so much better because you can just make it whatever the fuck you want it to be, right? You can go live wherever you want. You can figure it out, right? It's hard. It's not saying it's easy. And I know that I speak from a place of privilege, being a person that holds identities that I hold. But lots of things in our lives we can change. And especially when we're adults and we have a lot more autonomy, we can make our lives better. And it does get better. You find people you vibe with. And I still remember some of the first people that I really connected with. And I was oh man. Shout out to Adrian in Portland. I was whoa, I'm not the only fucking weirdo. It's liberating moment, right? Of being oh, I'm not the only one. Our lives are really fucking hard sometimes because we're weird. Because we don't fit in traditional work and traditional families and traditional relationships, right? But it doesn't mean that we don't get to exist and that our existence isn't fucking beautiful and can't be really fun. So that was the first thing I noticed. These kids are just stuck in this the toxicity that is competition and culture and comparison and body image. And I love that reflection in the movie that I wish there were more different body sizes and types represented, because very few of us actually look like those Barbies. And I only do because I'm sick. That was one of the biggest areas of this year, that I started to look more and more traditionally attractive when I got really sick, and got a lot more attention and engagement, and was sleeping with some of the most attractive people I've ever slept with in my life. And I was what's just happened? I'm sleeping with this happened actually this year, that I was sleeping with this person that was my dream Barbie doll, the Ken of my dreams when I was a kid, this rock star, musician, sexy. And they were they're okay. They were not a good person for me. They were not a good person for me. But it was this this idealized our attempt to chase these standards and expectations that we're supposed to be and to live them is the plasticness of Barbie, and is the it's the idea that we don't get to exist unless we're existing under a certain very specific framework, unless we're in the box, right? And yet I see every day people fucking breaking those boxes. And a lot of mental illness that I see as a therapist and as a clinical director in lots of different roles is people who are stuck because they're not meeting whatever fucking bullshit expectation, image, idea, thing they had in their minds around who they were supposed to be. And the race to always figure out how to get there keeps us in this constant self-hating cycle, right? I didn't want to be with this person that I had dreamed, that I had thought was going to be this idealized thing. They actually didn't hold me well, didn't hold my emotions well. But instead, I find other connections that are like life-changing for me. And other places and other situations in my life that like I feel the most authentic I've ever felt in myself. And not just because I dress like a weirdo every day. Like, this is a costume for the outfit for the movie, but like this is also what I wear every day. But not just I'm wearing whatever I want, but I'm role playing the being all of the Barbies that I wanted to be, right? That's one of the things I loved about the movie, is this idea that like Barbie is everyone and is everything and can be anything and everything, and we don't have to be one thing, right? So being ordinary Barbie is not being basic. Instead, ordinary Barbie is being you. It's being authentic. It's being whatever the fuck you want to be, and then maybe it changes tomorrow. Maybe it's something different tomorrow. Maybe it reflects a different part of you. Maybe it's a different part of your experience. Right? One of the reasons a lot of my work right now is in virtual reality, because I really love the ability to change my entire identity, not in a like distancing way, but in like, if I want to role play a unicorn tonight, I can go fucking role play a unicorn with a stranger, and it's great, right? And so it gives us this chance to go back to play, go back to like Barbies were meant for imagination and creativity and experiential joy. I have another video I'll post about this, but I fucking loved Barbies as a kid, and I was like, it was one of the few places that I felt safe and had the ability to just play pretend, have a life that was not dangerous. So I want to encourage you to be ordinary Barbie, be yourself, be authentic, explore the ideas why you might not want to be here. Think about the ideas around what's motivating. If something could change, okay, here's a question. If you could change one thing in your life, one thing dramatically, like you're in Barbie land and you have the ability to like make a dramatic transformation, what would you change? What would be the thing that you would say, this would make my life different? And I want it to not be money and not be a body image thing. So if it was not about money and it was not about possessions and not about your physical features, what is the thing that you're actually looking for? Is it belonging? Is it connection? Is it play? Is it rest? Is it acceptance? Is it joy? Is it the chance to dream again? Is it relaxation from oppression that keeps you from being yourself every day? What is the thing that would give you the chance to find joy in existence again? What is the thing that you might have some control over? An experience you'd like to have, a part of yourself that you would like to harness, that might give you an opportunity to find joy in being again. To find joy in play, to find joy in getting tangled in ribbon. You are enough. Your existence is valuable and important. I'm glad you're here. Ramana is glad you're here. Find other people who are glad you're here. And if the people in your life are not, find some new people. There's always another person who will be excited about you, who will be thrilled to know you, who will be overjoyed because you exist in the world with them. Even if it's an animal. I want to also tell you the story while we're here. Thinking about suicide content, when I was growing up, my mom was suicidal almost every day of my life. And my mom had a really difficult time with desiring to be here. And so I grew up like being the kid that was a cheerleader for my mom, to be like, you can do it, you can survive, you can make it today, like let's get out of bed, let's like get some water, let's like try again, right? So I'm just like, I'm like the cheerleader for my really mentally ill mom. And that was kind of like my essence growing up. And she's still here. She's tried to commit suicide so many times, and she's still here. How old is she now? She's 70 this year. She's still here. And she never wanted to be here. And now I talk to her and she's different. She's better than she's ever been. And she's happy. She has friends and community, and she's the leader in her she lives in like in a retirement community, and she's like the little mayor. She goes in and tucks in all of her neighbors every night, makes sure they like remember to eat, and like checks on them and like plays games with them. And she's like, during COVID, that she's lost so many friends and relatives, family in the building. And you know, she helps clean out their stuff, she's helped their families, like she's like become this ambassador to this like community village. And it was like, it took you 70 fucking years. That's my reflection. It took you 70 fucking years to want to live. Like, don't wait 70 fucking years to want to live. Don't wait 70 fucking years to want to live. Don't wait to discover that the world is terrible, to want to engage in it meaningfully and want to change it and want to be a part of it. There's endless opportunities for you to engage in making life, to engage in creating and dreaming and playing, to practice what it means to find reasons to keep trying every day. And to believe that just existing is the meaning of life. And it's beautiful and it's perfect. And I'm so glad you exist. I'm so glad you're here. And to grow plants. Look at my babies. Look at these little plant babies. So cute. And, you know, be nice to people of different cultures. Mexico is a beautiful and amazing place. And I learn from this place every day. And it's a gift to be here. And I work hard every day to not be a colonizer again. And you can too.